and it says we're live on Facebook. So I'm going to say okay and awesome. Everybody, it is Tuesday, August 4th, and this is a live stream dedicated to our podcast this month for the Bold Business. Oh gosh, I just totally messed all that up. Whatever. You all know who I am, and it's great, and you know I host the Bold Business podcast. So here we go. Our topic this month is focus and refocus. So what's going to end up happening is you're going to see an article next week. You're going to see the podcast the third week of the month, and then you're going to see a community post with things that you have shared with me and each other that we're going to wrap up and publish out. Now, this is really cool because I had this great idea over the weekend. Thank you, Eva, that we should ask our guests that are on the podcast this month to come back on and do a live stream if they are available. And Talus is with me today. So I wanted to take a minute. Talus, say hi and introduce yourself for us.
Hi, I'm Talus. I'm a seasoned entrepreneur with over 15 years experience, dozens of ventures where I participated. Have a TV show, got a book, and I'm very happy to be here on the show today, Jess.
Awesome. Thanks, Talus. And now focusing and refocusing. It can be a really scary word, and it's more important than ever before because even though you're focusing on one thing, you might think you're missing out on another. There's a word for that. Actually, it's letters for that I didn't even know, Talus. I just recently found out about FOMO, the fear of missing out.
Mm-hmm.
I am a little behind the times on my acronyms. That said, when I learned that, I was like, oh my gosh, this is perfect for what we're talking about with refocusing, because when we feel like we might miss out, we go after every opportunity. Yet in business, every opportunity creates distraction. And everything in business is slower to take shape, longer to implement, and will require adjustments to get desired results than what we experience when we go out into the world. It's because other companies are doing that work to make our instant gratification. So we are doing the slow work, the long-term work to make that same type of experience for our customers. Now, I've asked Talus to share an answer because we're going to be posting this question for all of you to answer and to share your experiences on. Okay, Talus, I want to know, when you know something is off and you think you need to refocus on your strategy, how do you begin to know for sure?
It's a great question. And I like to think about it in terms of science because I have the opportunity to work with some amazing scientists on some of my ventures that I have. And one of the things that I've picked up is the scientific method. So when I come to a problem that I'm struggling with, like this question that you've delivered, I like to think of things like a scientist. So come up with an experiment, test your hypothesis, use control, change variables. And if it isn't working, then, try something different. And if you've tried that and you seem to continually not have the success that you think you should, then perhaps it is an internal team issue that you have to address. There might be some sort of conflict or lack of motivation within the team that needs to be addressed. And if you address that, things are back to normal. However, if all of those things are tried and you still can't get something to work, then I think it's time to get fresh eyes. So try to find an advisor or a mentor who has industry experience and can perhaps see something that you're missing. Because when you're right there in the thick of things, then it's so common to have something right in front of you and then you just not even realize it. And then finally, if all this doesn't help, then just look at product market fit. I find that identifying the product that is perfect for the market that you're trying to achieve makes things a whole lot easier.
Thank you, Talus. And now I'm going to tell everybody, when you hear Talus on the podcast later this month, focus and refocus your actions, he is going to be talking and sharing about this product market fit. And until then, your answer today is great. It's all a grand experiment, isn't it, Talus?
That's the great thing about business. It's like it's an art. So there's never really one right answer. So whatever you do to get to something that works, and just keep on trying things.
That's right. And knowing that focus is easier said than done, knowing that it takes a lot of courage to show up and go, okay, I don't know what's going to happen because I don't have a crystal ball. We've got enough information to make a decision that will allow us to take at least the first step forward is a great starting point. So establishing that strategic focus to know where you're going and what that first step is to test out the waters, to see what's going on and to work from is an incredibly important leadership skill.
That's so important. And what I would like everyone to focus on is the step-by-step approach, because you don't want to take too many steps at the same time, because then you lose focus and things fall through the cracks. Be very structured in your approach would be my recommendation.
Yes. Thank you, Talis. And in addition to the outlined steps that you gave, I brought 3 questions to answer the question. I'm always a question with a question kind of person. So we can dig in and get to that creativeness. We can dig in and get to what's the heart of the mess so we can figure out how to untangle it and have it show up in an elegant way, or the best possible elegant way right now. So the 3 questions that I brought that you might want to consider as well are, if you could change anything about your management team, including yourself, what would it be? This is a great way to start thinking about refocusing. The second question, what's the one thing that keeps you aligned with your mission that will create the most impact right now for your business? Notice in that one, there's a long term, the mission we're delivering on, and the short term, right now. So you know you're creating the direction you want to go. And the third question to consider and to think about would be, what could the long-term consequences be of my current path? Because sometimes knowing the more difficult side or the downside actually helps us understand what the upside really means in relationship to that. We're bringing the unknown a little bit more into the known. So think about Talis's comments, think about these questions, and here's what we want to know from you. What resonates with you and why? Answer in the comments. Send me an email. Join in the podcast as far as the comments on the podcast later this month go, because your stories, your experiences add to this discussion. And of course, it's a great time to be quoted. Whatever you share, whatever your stories are, whatever tips you have, we will round up everything and we will publish our community post at the end of this month. Thanks again for joining in this morning. I'm Jess Stuhl, founder, entrepreneur, business consultant, board member, and of course, your Bold Business Podcast host.
Thanks, Jess.
You bet, Talis. And we're done.